All right, so today I'm going to be giving an explanation on how to factor using the box method. So just for an example equation, we are going to have x squared plus 2x minus 24. And in order to do the box method, first you're going to split these up and label them A for x squared, b for 2x, and c for negative 24. And so what we're going to try to do here is we have our box right here, and let's go ahead and put in some of what we need to put in the box. So what I had for here was a. So for a, we're going to have x squared, and for c, I'm going to have the last term, which is negative 24. And in order to fill in the rest of these boxes, we are going to have to go over here. I made a t-chart because that's what helps me. And so we have a times c in the first column and b in the second. And what we're going to try to do is, so a is kind of, you have a 1 right there. It's kind of like an invisible 1. We take the integer from before x squared, and we have 1 times whatever the integer for c is, which is negative 24. And that gives us, 24, negative 24. And so what we're going to try to do is we are going to find factors of 24. So we're going to go up here where I said a times c, that's negative 24, like we had down there. And what we're going to do is we're going to find factors that will multiply to equal a times c, but if you add them together, it will give you b. So b, we have 2 here. So that's what we're trying to find. So let's just go ahead and list the factors of negative 24. And I'm not going to worry about the negative right now. We'll get back to that later, but let's just list the factors for 24, let's say. So we have 2 times 12, we have 3 times 8, and we have 4 times 6. And so each of these will give us negative 24. So we go right back over here and we test them out. So we have 1 times 24, and let's say you're trying to make that, let's make the 1 negative. So if we have negative 1 plus 24, that gives us 23. That does not give us 2. And we could do it, the opposite way, have negative 24 and positive 1, but that's not going to give us 2 either. So why don't we mark this one off and go to the next one. So we have 2 times 12, and let's say we have a negative 2 here. So negative 2 plus 12, that gives us 10. That is not 2. So I'm going to go ahead. It's not 3 over 8. I'm just going to skip ahead for time purposes. And we get to our last one, which is 4 times 6. So if we have 4 times 6 here, what can we do to have 4 plus 6 equal 2? So we can make this 4 a negative number. And so what we would have here is negative 4 plus 6, which does give us 2. So I'm going to go ahead, and you see how we had, this is b, and we are going to go ahead and take these integers and plug them into the box. So we're going to take the integer negative 4 and add an x, and then 6 and add an x. And you can switch these any way you want. This is just how I've chosen to do it, but it's not in any particular order. So now we are going to go and start filling these places in. So we have a place here, a place there, a place there, and a place there that needs to be filled in. So how the box works is it goes by rows and columns. And so you're going to take these two, so it goes down and then it goes across. You see how they're touching like that? Well, what times what equals x squared? that's x. So x times x equals x squared. Then we're going to go over to this open space and see, okay, x, because we already found this from doing that, and so x times what gives us negative 4x? Well, x times negative 4 gives us negative 4x. And let's go back down here. And so since we already have the integer up here, we have the variable x, x times what gives us 6x? 6 times x gives us 6x. And if you want to go ahead and check your work, we can just move on to these two, and you see how this pulls down and this pulls across. And so negative 4 times 6 gives us negative 24. So that's just another way of double checking your work. And so how we have this set up like this, it gives us the perfect setup for writing out our actual answer. So we could do these in parentheses, x minus 4 times x plus 6. And that is your answer. So this was just an explanation of factoring using the box method.